In the summer of 1960, an unlikely group of civil rights activists came together to protest a segregated amusement park in Maryland. It was the first organized interracial civil rights protest in American history and included a show of unity between Jewish Americans and young black Howard University students. Now, a new documentary, Ain't No Back to a Merry-Go-Round, it's a Langston Hughes poem, takes a look back at this historic time with never-before-seen footage and stories from the protesters themselves.
I knew there was something better for me.
We wouldn't let our kids come to Glen Echo because not everybody could come.
We are Americans too. We support this country. We love this country.
The Holocaust radicalized me.
The fight for civil rights is much my fight as it is theirs.
That was the first time I had any social contact with a white person.
Joining us now is director Ilana Trachtman. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks
and
so
congratulations on this documentary. So just a few years after the period what you're documenting, LBJ signs the Civil Rights Act and he says Americans of every race and color have worked to broaden opportunities in this country. This documentary tells a story people didn't necessarily know, and it shows that what the president said was true.
That's right. That's right. And actually, people really didn't know it. Even people who were living down the street today have no idea that there was this momentous civil rights protest that happened at Glen Echo Amusement Park, which is still a beloved national park in the D.C. area.
That's what shocked me, is that this merry-go-round still exists, this place where black residents were excluded from going. And people, I said to my husband last night, I said, you know, we could easily have go there right now. You know, now it's a public park or something like that. Get on this merry-go-round and have no idea of the history of the bloodshed, of the sacrifice, and the unity that was brought together to integrate this amusement park. Tell us about the groups of people that were brought together in this effort.
Yeah, I don't think we can even imagine the degree to which the world was segregated in 1960, because you have Howard University students, being college-educated students. You have residents across the street who are labor organizers, working in civil service, and they have never had a meaningful encounter with somebody of a different race. So for them to come together was so shocking and so unprecedented, just the optics of it, that the Washington Post publishes a headline, "Whites Join Negroes in Civil Rights," in protest against segregation at Glen Echo Park. I mean, whites join Negroes. It's so hard to imagine that that makes a headline. But so you have Howard students who were galvanized by the Greensboro sit-ins in 1960 in February, and this is June. And then you have this community, which is literally across the street, and it's founded by progressive Jews who had moved to work in the New Deal administration, and they can't buy housing inside the district because there's so many restrictive covenants that literally say you can't sell to somebody of the Semitic race. So they bought a golf course, settled that golf course, and eventually there's all kinds of people who live there, all kinds of white people who live there, but they're all very liberal-minded. And as a community, they've been boycotting the park for 10 years. They used to say, like, we won't go there until our Negro friends can go. Mm-hmm. So they were ripe to join when the Howard University students showed up. But it wasn't until the Howard University students showed up that they were actually able to have a successful picket and sit-in and receive press and provoke the American Nazi Party and
The archival photos of the counter demonstrations, I don't even know those existed back then. They existed to a great extent, and the signage is really haunting. I mean, you mercifully don't hold the shots for that long because the signs are so jarring. I want to say that the title comes from a Langston Hughes poem. And until the poem, which opens the documentary, is read aloud by Langston Hughes, you find the audio, it didn't occur to me how significant these spaces of play, to places to swim, would have been in the civil rights struggle.
Yeah, I think we forget about that. We think it's really just about lunch counters, but it was actually about amusement parks, all kinds of recreation centers.
And everything. It was about everything, right?
Everything,
yeah.
right.
But even things as innocent, quote unquote, as an amusement park.
Right,
you know,
right.
Where we're talking about children.
And what I love about that poem is it's written in the voice of a boy who grows up in Jim Crow South, who's saying, well, where should I sit? Because there's no back to a merry-go-round.
Back of the bus, sure, but the merry-go-round has no back. So what do you hope people ultimately take away from this, watching it today?
Thank you. You know, I hope people in seeing the film, which I really tried to make sure that the nuances of the different communities were clear. Like, a spoiler, which while there were Jewish people who were protesting segregation, the owners of the park were also Jewish.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, there's similar disagreements within the Black community as well. I hope people start to see that no groups are monolithic.
It's true.
And today, in this moment where I feel like polarization is everyone's favorite word, it just gives us, it's a disservice because it makes us forget that there are people who are different, and every group contains multitudes, and certainly not every Howard student was there, but those few were there, and certainly not every Jewish person was protesting, but those were there. And it's really about these individuals, Helene, Dion, Hank.
And you interviewed these people, and then you have the photo of them on the picket line. You see them then and now, and as time continues, we're not going to be able to hear from them as much.
I'm so glad you have them on tape.
Yeah,
I mean, I think everyone should see this. It's been celebrated in newspapers in Atlanta, in Philadelphia, in Washington, D.C. It's debuting tonight in New York. I hope it goes even further than that.
Thank you so much.
Ilana, thank you.
Thank you.
Ain't No Back to a Merry-Go-Round is playing in select theaters around the country and has his New York City premiere tonight, as Tony said.